Greetings all, blessings. Nighttime is wild. So, blessings everyone. This is another Yeshua interview. And I'm still tired from this morning, but it's all good. There's also, if you go to Hukulo or Human Colony on YouTube, you'll find the channeling I just did recently at 10 o'clock Eastern AM. It'd be much appreciated. Check that out if you want to see what I've been doing. Also, those have submitted for alien interviews and spirit alien and spirit interviews. I'll be getting back to you shortly. Yeah, it's kind of a long, kind of a drizzly day in some regard. As for energy level has been down, so anyway, I'm back to normal as far as I can know. So, all right, Peter, take it away. You're muted. Forget.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ivan, you go ahead and connect if you like.
Okay.
And
thank
you. And I just wanted to say in my last video, my baby story that I talked about when I was in a cot. I don't know why, it's still a vivid memory, so it must mean something. Yeah, but there was a guy and a girl, and I only heard the guy. I was in a cot, walking through a house, and the guy was yelling at people, trying to get their attention, and this guy was a ghost. And anyway, he's banging and yelling, and no one could hear him. And then the guy come up to my cot, and he was looking at me, and he was still being angry. It frightened me, and it made me cry. And then a lady ghost, and I could see them as clear as day, as clear as I see, you know, people in this reality. And the girl said, hang on, I forget if she said her name. He can, the baby can see you. And then, yeah, so he just started making baby noises and become all happy. I think he was just happy that someone could see him. And, you know, he's doing raspberries and pulling faces. And, yeah, so he went from crying to made me laugh. And then someone that was in the house come up to the cot, and the two ghosts stood apart, and the person was in the middle, and she was talking to me, and this guy on this side was still trying to make me laugh, and I kept looking at him, which freaked out the lady that come to see what was wrong. And that scared me as well, because I knew that she couldn't see him, even though he was being friendly and made me laugh. It still scared me. So that was my baby story. I was in a cot, yeah, many years ago now, but it's still vivid. I just want to explain that from my last video of Yeshua.
Greetings. Greetings, I am Yeshua. Blessings. Once again, hello.
Hello.
So,
we're talking a lot these days. Thank you for coming through.
yes, it is all well. Yes, it helps with soul growth and soul understanding. And many of those that are not spiritually aware are becoming more curious of their spirituality. So this is much help to many, especially those in religions, and I will not go into names or anything, but it is being very helpful to others to expand their awareness. So, whenever you are ready.
Yeah, I'll just a bit more on your story. The crucifixion. You know, you're much loved in that time, even by the Romans. And I just want to, if you could tell me a little bit of their mentality of you sort of mentioned last time when we got off the air, how they justified doing that to you.
Oh yes. Well, yes, many were becoming more understanding of spirit. They felt their negative ego, at least, releasing slightly, and that terrified many of them. Because darkness wins with power. Darkness is with power. They were obsessed by power. They did not want to leave that position. So that is why they felt unhinged from what they are normally used to. And so removing me was one way of letting them re-enter their worlds. As for ego, as for holding on to this earth, understand that not all Rome is negative, but those that were in charge had much negativity, but not all. But without ego, did not spread the word of Rome across your earth into the areas. It was also, I will not go into that, but there was in areas that were not recorded in your history that they did find. I will not go into that, as not needed at this moment. But many were actually going into the teachings what I was bringing about to them. Not the ones in charge, but those within the soldiers. Some were quite fascinated by that, scared many. So there's much to go into that, but to give you, they did not like what they were seeing. Let's put it that way. Those in charge of things.
Okay. Did they make up a story that they thought you might have been possessed and evil, or
they believed it. Some did believe it, and they, as I said, what I was doing terrified many. So, the best thing they can come up with is to get rid of me.
And that was their justification, like they were trying to make out that.
I mean, I was releasing demons, not possessing people with them. Of course, they might even say I was possessing them and then releasing them, but that is nonsense.
Okay, so
that is the fear of the day. I was already aware of this when I came into your earth, exactly that I would be prosecuted the way I was. I was aware of it, but also gave others the awareness that they have the same abilities as I do. It's just for them to discover it, and many are afraid to go in that direction because of what happened to me. You'd be surprised how many have that power.
Okay. Yeah. So they'll just.
There are many that do possess similar capabilities, but hide it well because they have no choice. But many close off those abilities also now. They do not want to connect with that in this reality. But there was in the past where they can feel it, but then were terrified because of what they were doing. But most of this was done in secret, not in public, though, for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I guess ever since then, the spiritual, the mediums, and that have been, they've been trying witches, and there's been a lot in our history where they've victimized people that have gone spirit, tried to take that path. Yeah. So.
Yes.
Thank you. So you were crucified and then you resurrected.
Yes.
Did that scare the hell out of people? I'm just curious. Or was that you did that very quietly?
Most of it was done quietly. My resurrection was seen spiritually. I mean, they can see me through the third eye. They knew I was still around. They did not physically see me. Some might have seen me physically, but most did not. But they knew I still existed. And this is where you get to resurrection. Because they can feel my energies. As you see in your Bible, when they see me somewhere in your skies or however they word it in your world, But yes, I was very much. Yes, well, it brought some fear, but many hope that I still exist. So it was also to give energy to many to feel that life is after death. There's no such thing as death. Yes, the death of the vessel, but not the death of the soul. So it was very essential for them to see that and know that. It did bring fear to many, but yes, mostly hope though.
Okay, so that was when your body was laid to rest, and
Yes.
then after that you come back to it.
Well, yes, my body was never really truly found. It was hidden for the most part. But they saw me
Okay.
spiritually. They saw my energy spiritually. They knew I was still. I can project myself wherever I wish. So they knew I was still alive. They did not think I was truly alive as for human, but mostly spirit. Those I felt. But those that are around me that saw me come back to life, is that what you're mostly speaking of? Because for that,
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
not. Well, they were glad I came back. They were more than happy to see me come back. They were not afraid at all. They're happy to see me being healed. It did take me several days to bring a healing to my wounds, but I had to, yes, disappear. That is true.
Okay, so that was the physical body was done quietly with friends and
Yes. Yes.
okay, snuck away. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Um. Um. Oh, so your parents, was it your parents or the disciples? I mean, I guess I'm just looking for a happy ending here. So your family, they all knew that you come back, and
Yes.
your parents, and okay.
Yes.
Did they go on with you and
No, not my
with?
parents. My parents did not, because they stayed with the teachings, but I did leave with Mary Magdalene and others.
Okay. Wow. All right. So thank you, and I guess people are a little curious. Are there any like supernatural artifacts from that time? Like there were, it's more to do with the power within yourself. Is that like the the Holy Grail, the cup,
Mhm.
and the shroud? There's a cloth, something to do with a cloth over your face or something.
Yes, I am aware. Yes, those do exist, but the power within them. This is what others are put superstition around this cup and around. You can put power into whatever you have. As for a cup, so that is true, but also superstition to for others to make money and to build a myth. So it has its reasons. Some of it's good, some of it is for profit. But also for the shroud, yes, that was very true, but I have several of those. Most of them are destroyed. I don't believe this current one is around I don't believe it's around at this time. In your dimension at least. It is not much it is not much importance at this time.
Another thing I didn't really get to that it's just interests me. It's probably silly more, but I've been finding a lot of people around when I did that video saying your name in vain, blasphemy. You hear that a lot. Um, is there a history with that? Is there a reason why that all come about, or that you're aware of, or it's
Only if
just
they put negativity towards my name, they feel like they are blasphemy and nothing, no harm would come to them. But it is better to have positivity than negativity. It's just another way of saying be more positive than negative. That is all. They use my name to surround my name with negativity, to make my name a bad word in many ways, as your world would call it, to just shroud my energy with negativity. That's basically what you're doing. And much reptilians had something to do with that, because they are one to at a, what do you call it? They wish to control my name. As you have heard, or maybe you have not heard, much of reptilian energies, also Syrian energies, wish to control my name. So when anyone sends energy to my name, it goes to your reptilians, which is false and true. When you pray to me, you're praying to the reptilians because they try to control my energy, which is not entirely true, because you can clear out the negativity around my name, around the reptilian control, and clear that out on your own. And pray to me if you wish, but it'd be best if you pray to your Lord for the most part. But some still choose to pray to me because I brought too much help into their lives, which is fine. Whatever helps to bring their spirituality up. But as for a name in vain, that is just to cloud my name with negativity, to make me into more of a negative figure across your earth. There's other ways of looking about it, but that is the one way of looking.
Okay. It doesn't annoy you?
No,
That's all. It's just silly.
It'd be better to have much positivity, yes, but some much rather. Many are angry at me because they're not getting what they want in life, so I get the blame for it. Or they have to be angry at someone, it might as well be me anyway. So there's many. It is fine. It just gives the excuse for many to be negativity. They have to add negativity to their life somehow, and adding my name to it brings satisfaction to many.
Yeah, it's just a
many don't know
silly,
any better.
Yeah, silly thing people do. Whenever my dad's mower broke down when I was a little kid, he'd be saying all sorts of stuff.
Yes, yeah. I can read his energy, but for a society that's easily brought into negativity, it is understandable why they would do that. Because you're introduced in negativity as your children. So it's understandable how easy it is to get pulled into that reality. So it's quite understandable. It comes with the territory, you could say.
All right. So I was thinking of just doing a little bit of like training for everyone. I'm hoping that you'd be okay with that. So want to just bring people's awareness to raise your vibration by being healthier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's more of a vegan diet. That's a spiritual sort of a diet that we're supposed to be heading towards.
Well, also fasting, as I did many times, but that is up to you to go that route. Some cannot do it, but it's up to you to go and follow that. Fasting is good for you, but yes, more of a diet without animal substances will be best for you, but some cannot live without meat, and that is fine. But the less amount of meat, the better. But that is up to you. It's different for everybody. You can still raise your vibration other ways.
Okay. But yeah, but your needs will, as you raise your vibrations, your needs will also change, won't they? You'll be less dependent on the meat, and
yes, fish is good, a good substitute. You need the fish for your. It is also good to bless your food before you eat it. Also, that will clear it out, and also give thanks to the animal that you are consuming, because they are blessing you also. Bless them back.
Wow. So is it just bless any way we think? Is there a way how?
Anyway, yes. You just thank the food. It doesn't matter if it's an animal or not. Thank the food for being a part of your experience, so you can live in this world after it's being consumed. So yes, thank you. Thank it for being a part of your dish, you can say. There's other words, better ways of saying that. But for the most part, you are thanking it to be a part of your experience.
And yeah, and put the intention into it that it'll be healthy for you.
Yes.
And you have to believe that the food will be healthy for you. You can't less, coffee and donuts. You gotta.
Well, even that is fine. It is whatever you feel. It does not matter. Whatever brightens your day. If coffee and donuts is what it is what it is. It is fine. You're not
Okay.
going to be shamed or anything or thrown into a pit of hell or anything like that.
So yeah, it's just generally being healthy, exercise, don't torture yourself.
Well, also mental exercise is to keep yourself from love yourself more. That is the main thing you can do for yourself. You can do all these other things, but you love yourself is the most important. You gotta love yourself, and this is for you to find on your own. And if darkness is a way for you to find it, then so be it. And many are going through darkness right now because they need it to identify who they are. Many do not know who they are. So darkness is one way to discover it. Many find themselves in prison, meaning they have to go to jail to find themselves and discover who they are. There's nothing wrong with it. Yes, it might be a difficult lifetime, yes, but whose isn't here? But to find yourself and to appreciate who you are but that is your journey to discover that. No one can give you exact direction. Some can give you an idea, but it is your journey. It is for your discovery. And it is not always an easy one, but cherish it. Cherish your time here. Look at a positive outlook. Look at what you can have and not what you do not have. Bring these things to you that you wish to have.
Yeah, I wanna ask like a bit more training on how we sort of listen to that, like find our guidance system. So basically, if you have pains, headaches, things to do with your body, that's an internal guidance system, isn't it? Like, so if I have headaches after I have coffee, that's a sort of a thing from my higher self to say that I shouldn't really be having coffee. And then
Not necessarily.
not necessarily. Okay.
Your body it is giving you clues. Yeah, maybe this isn't the right way to go, but that is up to you. But it's also your body's telling you does not have the proper nutrition at that moment. You can drink the coffee, but it'd be good to have other nutritions to have your body consume into your cells. More nutritious. And your coffee does have nutrition, of course, without sugar, but whatever. But it'd be good to have a vegetable diet a fruit vegetable diet within your body. So when you drink this coffee, yes, you might have a slight headache or not at all because your body is well balanced with more. Understand your body is poisoned by many of your factory sold foods. So it's difficult to be completely healthy here because of that. Even your vegetables are affected by it to a certain degree by pesticides. So, but yes, still, even those with your vegetables and your fruits, it is still best for your body to have much of that. So when you drink your coffee, you will not have so much of a headache. So it depends. Do you have more good stuff in your body or more bad stuff in your body? If you have more bad than good, then of course you're going to have your headaches. But it's different for everyone, of course.
Okay. Thank you. That's good. So I guess I don't understand. I've been looking it up a little bit, but they call it like shadow work. is like your emotions, and a big part of that is so that's the side of you that you really need to address while we're here. It's why what we're learning, and you can sort of get a if you find something that upsets you or fear, or something that fears or pains you emotionally, or a feeling of loss, of lack, or even an addiction, all those things are something. Is that those things are the things that you need to work on?
If you feel like you need to work on it. Not everybody needs to do this. Some do. If they are interested in shadow work, then it's something their soul needs to explore. But you don't all necessarily have to go in that direction.
Okay.
It feels like you need to discover it, but many of you already have discovered it in different ways. Such as instead of reading about it, you lived through it. It's called the Dark Ages. Where many study it, reinvent the Dark Ages, many of you have actually experienced it. And you don't want to experience it ever again. I don't blame you.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to get an understanding of it now, because I think that I've done that, worship false idols, in relationships. I've and that in those relationships, I really cherish the just not being alone, and I think that's a big part of my lesson, that I've my loneliness and stuff to do with that. And I watched a video about weight, and that putting on weight is like a thing where you feeling a lack of, and I think it's all to do with self-love. So really, I want to I shouldn't need someone else to find that self-love. And I think you're the one person, if anyone is going to help us answer this type of.
Let me answer some of your, when they saw false gods. Well, technically what is in the Christian book is much of a false god, especially the negativity that's been painted onto God as a vicious killing machine, according to your Bible, which is not true, which has been rewritten because many felt God had betrayed them, so they had to put their rage out into God and paint him as a villain, a very, very powerful villain, just like as your Zeus, which your Zeus is actually one of your aliens that had much power and got abused much of his power. That is one of your alien friends, but that is not important right now. But as for there's much Syrian energies and Lyran energies with that Zeus, but anyway. But as for self-love, this is your journey. It is a difficult one. It is everyone's journey. It's different for everyone to discover oneself. It's to be in a room by yourself and to enjoy your own company, not have the others feed you with information. Without a radio on, without anything, just you and your thoughts. How many can handle that without losing their minds? Many that end up in your prisons, I'm going back to that, have no choice but to love themselves. They are forced to it. And then they find out they love others of the same sex or whatever it might be, but they love them for the most part. That's just an example. And sometimes some need to go into these prisons to be forced onto themselves who they are. And many we are technically in some sort of prison environment, financial prison. You can look at it that way if you like to. But still, they do not have enough time to look within. They're so busy trying to feed themselves. They have no time to truly, but an exercise for others is to just take a walk by yourself, to be in a room by yourself without any entertainment anywhere. You might need a fan, that might be helpful. You want to be at least comfortable. But even uncomfortable is fine, but do you enjoy your own company? Most do not. Well, I want to say most, but it's still a high percentage of people do not. First, you got to love yourself and then realize you have a spirit. Men are not even ready for their spirit. They're not ready for spirit. They're not ready for the true God. They're not really ready for their true selves, that the spirit lives within you, that you're much more than just this vessel. But first off, enjoy you and the vessel that you are in, but also realize your spirit can go anywhere you wish. Spiritually, at least. Maybe not physically, but spiritually. Well, physically, yes, also. But that has to do with manifesting what you wish. But the more you love yourself, the easier it is to manifest what you want. And some have a long, dried out, I want to call a dry spell to get to finding who they are. Some need a time of I know I'm going on and on, but one moment, I'm looking for the right word here, a desert period, as many feel like their lives aren't going anywhere. Well, this is a long period for you and yourself, for you to get to know yourself. And that is very difficult for me. This is why you have such a long desert period. You have plenty of time to get to know each other. Your ego and you, or whatever you want to call it, but you getting along with you, yes, it is quite difficult, but everyone has their own journey there. It is much can be gained from that. Yes, go ahead, please. Hopefully that made some sense.
Yeah. I know you've gone on and on, but I guess I kind of want that. I just have you got? I've been watching a few videos and that, and I still say I don't know. Is there maybe a type of meditation or something you'd sort of like people facing their fears, I guess they suggest taking a mental journey, like you've got a fear of flying, take a mental journey that you fly and a plane crashes, and then you sort of understand that. No, but then understand that.
Yes, but you don't need to crash your plane.
Like just a mental journey, and just and after the plane has crashed, I mean, your soul's still there. You still journey on, and to not fear it anymore. Like, is that a bad way?
Not necessarily. For some, that will work. Yes.
Okay.
That is not one I would be telling others to. If that, as I said, it's different for everyone. But yes, go on the journey you wish to go through. What you wish to go by, what feels right. Everyone is different. If this is way for you to not be afraid of flying, that is fine. That is one way of going about it. But there are other ways that are much easier, but some need to go in that route, and so be it. But there are other ways. There's other reasons for that. It's because of self-control. You have no self-control of yourself, and yet you're putting your hands in someone else's control. That has a lot to do with self-love. The more you love yourself, the more you're not worried if your plane flies or crashes. The more connected you are to spirit, the less fear you will have. The more you realize you will live forever. So yes, your plane can crash all at once. You'll still live forever. And many will understand. This isn't your fiction. You become more powerful in spirit than you do in this vessel. You can continue on your life. Yes, you might be in spirit, but you can continue on your work. It is not like your life is over. And for your family, they will sense you around. Of course, they won't see you. But it needs to be understood. But also the mechanics of your world is not fully fit as for your technologies to make sure you land and take off without a problem. That also has another thing to do with not connected to spirit correctly. The more you're connected to spirit, the less likely your planes will crash. Most likely you will be fine, but as your world is, doesn't it take a miracle for half your planes to land, take off and land peacefully? Many miracles are done there. There's much to go into that, but for the most part, it has a lot to do with self-love for those situations, though. Not to say you want your plane to crash, not at all. But there's always a chance of that for everyone. There is, especially when you get in your cars, which is most likely to have injury. The more you love yourself, the more you understand your world, how it operates spiritually, the more you can have less harm, because understand much fear brings this along towards you also. The more you fear a crash to happen, the more likely it will happen. So there's much.
Sorry, I was just using it as an example.
Oh yes, I understand.
I fly a lot.
Oh no, that was next. No, that was just fine.
Yeah. But I've just it's the like whenever I my biggest one is loneliness, and when I get in a relationship, like I lose weight, everything becomes better for me, but I need to find. I guess I'm wanting to get rid of that loneliness while I'm on my own.
Yes.
And I'm mainly hoping that you might have something to help with that, a meditation or
meditation on not being what.
Or something. I don't know. Like.
Well, it's a long process. It is a long, grueling process. It can be. It can take a couple of weeks. It can take a couple of years to look in the mirror and not be afraid of what you see, to enjoy what you see. A meditation also would help you as releasing, yes, many lifetimes where you were very beautiful at once and others were not very kind to you because of your beauty. So many have loss of love for themselves because of the negativity that came to them during that lifetime. So a lot of this has to do with past lives. The majority of it does. But they lose the love of themselves. When you have your first lifetime here, you have the love of yourself. And over the next course of lifetimes, it sort of detaches, the self-love detaches because of the negativity. It has many ways of, so much it has to do with lifetimes. There's much there to go into, but for the most part, that is the simple version. And to meditate, to clear these lifetimes away, it is difficult. You might most likely see things you do not want to see, to release, but they're buried within you to keep you from you. Some are galactic lifetimes. Most of them are human lifetimes, where it was difficult. Many parents, many fathers, mostly fathers and females too, but I want to go with the fathers that have no self-love. They get married, they have their children, they have no self-love, and they abuse their children verbally or physically because they do not care for themselves. They're taking their anger out of themselves on their children, which happens often. So much of this is a past life. And in meditation, it's a deep meditation that most would most likely not want to go into and see. You can also have a hypnotist that everyone's different, but these are lifetimes that are normally pretty ugly within the soul that you want to much rather forget. And many of these are that do not love themselves are slave owners of your past. But it all depends on what it depends on how the slave owner treated their slaves, because sometimes that was the norm at one time. Constantly, actually. But some were very respectful to their slaves and others were not. The ones that were not have no self-love whatsoever and have no trouble hurting others because they are hurting within. So it's very easy for them to abuse others because they feel abused within, but they don't know why. And most of that has to do with past lives. So the majority of it is a past life issue. And as your earth becomes more spiritually aware, it'd be much helpful to discover those things and release them. There's much there to go into. It is a long road there.
Oh, yeah. I thought it's
That is
a little
just
bit
a little bit. Yes, that's a little.
yeah, a little bit of shadow work, a little bit of like using positive
Yes.
affirmation. And yeah, it just seems like a lot of work now. So I just thought there might be a simple answer.
There's no simple. No, there's not. There's never. But self-love is no simple answer. There's no simple journey either. It can be, depending on who it is. Everyone's different. Some it's very easy. For most, it's not. Judging by the energy of your world, it is lacking in self-love. Even your politicians, that is a false love there. That is not a. That is more of a.
Need the popularity.
Yes, that is more of a fantasy love than a true love of oneself. They're even believing their own mirage they're putting over the people. That's a whole another story there.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that was yeah. I guess yeah, that's all I was getting into. So
for self-love, yes, it is a difficult journey. As I said, it's not always hard. There's many different ways of looking at it, but for the moment now, there's a possibility I'll come through again to give you more details on another direction to look at. But for this point, I say past life regression within yourself to go into a meditation and ask for the lifetimes that needs to be released. The negative ones, or it can even be the positive ones. What lifetimes do I need to release so I can feel better about myself? Most likely those would be negative ones. But also there are positive lifetimes where you are the positive one and others are being negative to you. Technically that's a negative lifetime, but not entirely. Where you are loving yourself, where you're very kind to others and no one else is kind to you. There are many of those lifetimes also. There's much there of releasing. Sometimes you have to see things within your meditations that you don't want to see, but it's essential for you to bring a release. You have to go through the pain to see it, for it to be fully let go. And many do have the alien lifetimes also, where they have been through surgeries through other aliens that were not very friendly, as a DNA exchanges, and also that can ruin your self-love also. If you feel like you're a mental patient because you're seeing these reptilians around you as you lay on a table, or graze, or other beings for that matter, that can take away your self-love easily. Because they've violated your space, yes. So that's another thing to go into. It is much understandable. It is very difficult to find oneself here on this world, especially when you have so many distractions here, entertainment, to keep you from yourself. And your religions, as far as I'm concerned, are making it more complicated than it needs to be, putting you inside of a maze and taking you around with a piece of cheese, it seems. And they don't even know where they're going with all of it. I don't think it was never intended to have an understanding. They don't even understand it for the most part. It is still a mystery. There's no mystery in your Bible. There does not have to be. But if they want one, they can have one.
okay, so I guess a journey of self-love would be to I guess I'll just try and make this really brief, but my point of view is to be healthy,
Yes.
And then so learn to like just pick yourself up there mentally. If you find that you've got a trigger, a fear, someone annoys you, and you find out that you might have a controlling trigger that you were ignored a lot when you were a child. So just search for those triggers, that things that annoy you, and maybe work on that, and use positive affirmations about yourself, like positive things about you that you see that other people see. Like try and do that every day, and then as you become more, you regress into past lifetimes and try and clear them out. And yeah, it seems like a long journey. It does.
But it all depends. Everyone, as I said, well, even understand if you feel the need of going into darkness to find happiness within yourself, there's no one stopping you, because this is your journey. This is your journey of self-discovery. So you not know who you are. There's nothing wrong with dabbling into things or eating unhealthy, whatever it might be. This is your journey. No one's there to tell you what to do. You're not. Yes, you say be healthy, but you can be whatever you want. Whatever makes you feel happy. If eating many foods that are very fattening makes you happy, then there's nothing wrong with that. It is self-discovery. It's what feels right for you. Many indulge themselves in cigarettes, I see, even knowing the warnings, but still because they're not happy with themselves. So there's no one there to tell you to be happy. It's for you to discover this happiness within yourself. It is your journey, and it does take several lifetimes. I wanted to put the name hundreds of lifetimes, but it can, depending on how long your lifetime. There's a possibility of that. Everyone's different. So there's no right or wrong. It's what makes you feel the best.
Okay. I think there's a lot of people on Ivan's, like, watching these videos are finding themselves and coming on the brighter side of that journey. And yeah, so yeah.
Yes, I mean, of course, yes, with a vegetable diet, more of a green energies of foods, clear greenery. There's better words of mentioning that, but that's soaking within your body tissue. As for consuming it, drinking or eating it, however you want to do that, it would be to slim down the fat, but that is up to you. Whatever makes you feel more comfortable. There are methods, but there's no. God's people are beautiful no matter what you weigh. It does not matter. There's only your advertisements are telling you what you should look like. We're not telling you to look like anything. It does not matter how big or small you are. It does not matter. It is your advertisements that are doing this.
Yeah, but from my point of view, there's a lot of toxins and everything put in our society that's meant to bring down your vibration.
Yes,
and
it is.
That's more to do with fighting that.
Yes.
Yeah, the way I see it.
Yes,
yeah.
that is correct. But we don't want to go around telling everyone what to eat, what to drink, and all that. You have to follow your own path. That is all.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you happy. But yes, you are correct.
Yeah, I'm coming. I feel like I'm coming onto the better side of that journey at the moment. So yeah, I was just looking for more information. So yeah, thank you very much. I feel like probably wasting everyone's time. Anyway. All right. I better go. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about your time, or we'll just go?
The only thing that truly matters is now. Yes, the past, yes, has many questions there, yes. But also the present has many questions also that have not been discovered. It is to make your day a better day. Not to worry about my lifetime, but to make your life better, however it might be. If a sexual relationship makes you happier, then so be it. If food, hopefully more healthier, but whatever food that might indulge you, then that's fine also. Chocolate seems to be on many lists of making many happy. That is fine also. But making your day a better day, raising your vibration. What raises your vibration? Some can eat fatty foods and raise their vibration that way. So you can find your way. Everyone's different. You can all find a way to make it work with you. It is just to make your life easier on this earth. Especially when you come into lessons that are very difficult and ideas to survive it, but also to learn from it, to crystallize yourself, to improve yourself afterwards, after that event has passed. But also to manifest what you are needed for that time to improve your lives. And before I go, yes, I want to go into this a little bit more of negativity, though. It is a tool for many to have self-discovery. And many must dive into it for their own reasons, which is understandable. There's much there to be discovered, which is fine. It's not an easy direction, but many young souls are here that have not experienced any negativity as many of the older souls. Many older souls have been through the Middle Ages and Dark Ages and on and on. But many younger souls are here have never experienced that. So the darkness here is much needed. It's a necessity for self-identity. So you have many angels around you during this process. Yes, it's not easy for many families, but those that end up in your prisons and behind bars with overnight drinking or whatever it might be, but your families are well aware of this as they chose to go on this journey with you. So, blessings all. There's not much else I have for you. Well, there's always more, but much love to you in this journey. God is always with you. You can always call on God. He is not hidden. He's not just for Yeshua. He's for everyone. And He's there to help you connect to your God consciousness, your God energy. So blessings all. Much love.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right.
Thank you,
All right.
Alvin.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Peter. All right. Much love, everyone. Blessings. And let's see if I have anything else after this. Much love, everyone.